Jeffrey doesn't realize just how important habits are. He feels a deep sense of shame and guilt and sadness whenever he does any of the bad habits that he knows he shouldn't do. He spends too long watching Andrew Tate shorts, sneako TikToks, and self-improvement videos with this random sexy guy in a bathrobe. He looks at the men who have what he wants and he just doesn't understand how they got there. Did they get lucky? Were they born like this? No, Jeffrey. It was their habits. Adonis. Every single day, Adonis wakes up at sunrise and he goes to sleep shortly after sunset. He has a military-style routine. He hunts at the same time, he feasts at the same time, he f***s at the— what? That's not for you to see. Adonis is a man of habits because he understands just how powerful these little things are. I was a pretty normal guy in high school and college, and I didn't realize that I had habits. I just thought I didn't have good habits. What I didn't realize is that you always have habits, and if you don't have good habits, most likely you probably just have bad habits. So I'd wake up at a random time, and sometimes I'd just grab my phone and just scroll in bed just through Reddit and Instagram, and end up fapping even before getting up for the day. I'd go to school or college and come back and just eat junk food, like I'd order pizza or something. Spend a couple of hours playing RuneScape or League of Legends or Minecraft or Gmod, and I'd pretty much do nothing productive all day. Do you know when it all changed for me? When I picked up the habit of weightlifting. Weightlifting is when you go to the gym and you specifically go over to the weight section with the dumbbells and the barbells, and you use that equipment to build muscle. I got into the habit of going to the gym and seeing some progress in my body, and before I knew it, this cornerstone habit of weightlifting led to other areas of my life. Since I became more disciplined from going to the gym, eventually I was able to discipline myself to sit down and meditate, and for the first time in my life, I was able to actually focus. You know, like I always struggled reading, like not— I know that's kind of silly to say, but like I literally always struggled to read because I'd read like a sentence and I just forgot what I had just read. And so I needed to like reread what I just read. And the reason why was because I wasn't present. And so as soon as I started meditating, I was able to read at age 21. That led to other habits like journaling, where I was able to really clear my mind and organize my thoughts and actually make good decisions. And did you know that making good decisions is literally just the key of becoming more successful? If you make good decisions, you will become more successful. But they don't want you to know about the power of habits, because when you look through media, what do you see? When you watch a movie or TV show, what do you see? You never see the value of habits. You see the big magical event that changed it all. You see this grand moment. The moment that the spider bites the nerd and suddenly he's a superhero and he wakes up with a six-pack. You never see him waking up early, training and dieting for 100 days straight. If there's ever a montage where it shows them doing the right habits, that montage scene is like 1 minute and suddenly they're transformed. You've never even been exposed to what habits can really do for you. And maybe you do understand some of the value of habits, but you might feel a little bit sad because you're like, well, I can't stay consistent in them. And that's a normal experience for a lot of young guys. You want to get into the habit of exercising or eating clean or stretching or meditating or journaling or any kind of habit. And you just get really like frustrated when you can't do it consistently. You keep missing like random days, don't you? That's normal. Please listen to me when I say this. Consistency is not doing the habit every single day. It's just continuing to do the habit over the long term, over the months and years. And of course, over years, you're not going to do the thing every day. You're going to miss tens, hundreds of days. But as long as you start that habit today, journaling, meditation, and you're still meditating 5 years from now, well, that's consistency. Ask any guy who's built a muscular physique. If he went to the gym every single day without missing a day, he'll say, no, of course not. Of course I took rest days, but I also just missed some workouts because I wasn't, that disciplined from the start. But that guy's still disciplined because he started working out years ago and he's still working out now. There's 3 habits that I am sure will change your life, and we'll go over them very quickly because I don't want to waste your time. Those are weightlifting, meditating, and reading. The reason why I've said weightlifting and not just exercising, because exercise, you've always heard of the benefits of exercise. That's awesome. Honestly, exercise makes you healthy. That's awesome. But weightlifting or calisthenics, bodyweight exercises, specifically exercises that build muscle, they do so much for a man. Exercising and just getting fit and doing cardio is nice, but building muscle and getting stronger makes you feel like a man. It makes other men respect you and it makes women attracted to you. I think the single greatest thing that you have control over in terms of how many women you can attract is just building like a 10 out of 10 aesthetic body. I have a program for building your aesthetic body, which is linked in the description. Some people think that it's quite shallow to improve your looks through something like going to the gym, but I think it's the opposite. I think it's as deep as it possibly could be. How attractive you are really does influence the rest of your life. It influences how many girls are into you. It influences how many guys respect you and like you and want to be around you. And there's a thing called the halo effect, which is pretty much just that people like you more if you're more attractive. And so I don't think it's a shallow thing to try and improve your looks through something like weightlifting. If anything, I think it's quite ignorant to not consider this. And just those guys who say like, oh, well, I don't care about my look. I don't care what other people think of me. Like, because We do care what other people think of us. And I know, like, you know, it's quite conventional to say, oh, I don't care what other people think. But we do care what our tribe think about us. We care what our family and our friends think about us. And so we want to get their respect and we want to elevate our status. And perhaps the best way you can do that is by physically looking like you're in shape and you're disciplined. Meditation is so necessary, especially for the younger guys whose attention spans are so fucked. In the modern day, your attention span is just being deep-throated by these algorithms, by YouTube, by TikTok, by Andrew Tate's fucking TikTok shorts, and Andrew Tate's advice will change your life. All of these like small dopamine-packed videos that are just fast and like hyper-edited, like my old videos, they fuck up your attention span. And the way to reverse that is to meditate. And I know meditation seems really hard. That's why I've created my own meditation follow along video that you can click on this card right now to go and watch. I am certain that you won't become anywhere near as successful as you possibly could be if you don't read books. Watching videos, listening to podcasts is fantastic, but the real wisdom is in books. If you look over any successful person's journey, you'll see that the moment that the ball really started to roll for them was just after a period where they were reading a lot. There's a young entrepreneur on YouTube named Iman Gaji, and you can literally see the videos where he's young, he's building his success, and he was reading an entire book per week. Imagine reading a book every single week, 52 books a year, and actually implementing that advice. Would it be a surprise that you became successful after that? Of course, you have to take action. You can't just read for fun, but action comes from knowledge. I'll give you a bonus habit, which I mentioned before, and that's journaling. A lot of guys don't really feel comfortable with journaling because it just feels kind of like feminine and stuff. Up until you get reminded that men like Winston Churchill and Marcus Aurelius had journals. And so if you think it's gay to write down your feelings in a diary, but they're successful masculine guys who have done it. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, one of the strongest men ever. And Churchill was probably one of the best British leaders ever. If these strong, masculine, successful guys, dominating kind of guys, write in their journals, then maybe we should consider it too. I give you my word that if you spend some time developing the right habits, your life will transform over time. Habits are like these small things that you do today, which are kind of easy to do and also easy not to do. So a lot of people just choose not to do them. But the guys who choose to do them don't really spend that much time doing them. They don't sacrifice that much, you know, just implementing a small habit of reading 10 pages a day or meditating for 5 minutes. But over time, that stacks up and you start progressively overloading and doing more and more and more. Till eventually you're that guy who just meditates. You're that guy who meditates for an hour. You're the guy who's read 100 books on finance, success, and money, and now you're actually wealthy. I want that for you. Click and watch this video right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.